What the? Oh, sorry, you can't come in here. I'm sorry, dude. No, even you, I know. I said no, all right? Wow, issues.
Hey, come here. There's a bunch of comedians hanging out with some friends. You're not supposed to be here, but if you're cool, you can come and hang. If you've ever been offended by anything, don't come in.
Jokes. And I said, I guess. And he goes, yeah, do a lot of those. Because we got one here.
I'm very excited about the fact that Rick could come and hang out here because you were his big comedy idol when he first saw you.
Yeah, John Wayne, right? No, him. No.
Cheech.
Oh, the other guy. No. Come on, man. Maybe I'm not confused.
Yeah, Rick is always a kind of a wild card in a party.
You think?
Yeah. You just know that if he weren't doing stand-up comedy, somebody would be dead as a result of it.
Yeah.
Isn't there still a chance that there is someone dead?
I can tell you that story. So I saw you and Cheech open up, and you were on all fours imitating dogs wearing bandanas. You were so great. Years later, I became a comedian. I didn't understand guys standing up and talking to a mic, and they don't even move, and they're like, you know, you're crazy when you move around, Rick. I said, stand-up comedy I saw was two guys imitating dogs on all fours having a blast, you know? And that's my point.
See, Tom, I just felt it was time somebody showed you the effects of too much drugs.
It's called creating a moment.
Where's Dr. Drew?
He's in rehab right now.
All I know is that when I watch television and I see the ads on TV and I see some of the reality shows and everything, I think clearly I'm the only one who's not on acid. I can't believe the shit I see on TV and the shit that you got people to do on TV.
What show?
Fear Factor?
Everybody must be high on that show.
I was the only one that was high behind the scenes. I used to eat pop brownies and, well, mostly lollipops. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
Because on marijuana, I could function fully.
Yeah.
On alcohol, if I was drunk, it would be a terrible show. It would suck. But on pot, I was inquisitive. And also, I would be actually into talking to these people. Whereas normally in real life, I'd like, this guy's crazy, wants to fucking win this. I gotta get away from this dude. But when I'm high, I'm like, so what's up, dude? You ready to do this? Well, it made it enjoyable to me because the first season I did totally sober, and I thought the show was going to be canceled immediately, which is why I was willing to do it in the first place. I really never thought it was going to be a hit show. I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, you're going to take people and sick dogs on them and make them eat animal dicks. I'm like, nobody's going to watch that. You know, that's what I thought. I figured everybody would have tuned in until they, you know, there was a public outrage and they yanked it off the air. That's what I expected.
Turns out Fear Factor was actually the high water mark.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, compared to a lot of things, unfortunately.
That should be the promotion for legalizing marijuana. It makes reality contestants interesting.
It does. It's the only thing that worked for me.
It's good to see you out of prison.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't think most people are aware of what went down with your drug bust.
Well, it wasn't a drug bust. It was a bong bust.
Oh, well, that's true, yeah.
I had the drug thing totally taken care of, you know. I had my medical card, I had my license. When they said it was for bongs, I was fucked, man. Guilty.
When they raided your house, which is an amazing story, and they said, do you have any drugs on the premises? And you just went, I'm Tommy Chong.
Hey. Then they give me that routine where they say, well, if you tell us where it is, we'll be out of here faster. I says, every room in the house. and then he got defensive. He goes, well, we don't have our dogs. And I says, well, that's another thing. What kind of drug bust is this without the dog? They were doing it all wrong.
Did you get the phone to your agent? What kind of shit drug bust did you get me?
They said, you know why we're here, don't you? No, I said, I don't. They said, bongs. And that's when I got pissed off. because it was my son's business. You know, they had helicopters, everything.
So they came in full SWAT gear and
12 of them.
helmets and flak jackets and the whole
12
thing?
of them, everything. And it was weird, man, because I had a glass door and I could see them. And they looked like trick-or-treaters, you know? They're all dressed up, they got their guns, got their outfit on, you know?
Oh, how great would it have been if you opened the door and just gave them candy and closed the door again? Oh, that's funny.
It was a politically correct bust. They had a black, they had Chinese, they had a woman. It was like a movie.
In a movie, they would have dogs.
At least. I was going to fight it. I was kind of looking for this excuse to show the world, you know, that pot is safe and it's good for you and all that, you know. And then my lawyer told me straight, because the charge is paraphernalia, and the only thing you could talk about was paraphernalia. And I said, well, that's fine too. I'll fight it on that. Then the government come back and said, well, if you don't plead guilty, we're going to go after your wife and your son. Now, my son, if he went to jail, it'd be, okay,
fuck him.
You know, I couldn't imagine visiting my wife, you know, for something I did and say, so how are they treating you, hon? You know?
Wasn't there some question about entrapment?
It was total entrapment. Well, I fell into the trap. I was wide open with it. You know, bong company, Chong bongs, my face is on it. I wasn't hiding anything.
Chong bongs.
So I did a signing in Arlington, Texas. The DEA comes in disguise. Now here's their disguise. They got a headband on.
Oh my God.
Then the guy comes over to me and goes, these pipes, they're not really for tobacco use only, are they? And I said, no. He goes, oh, well, what are they for? I said, for pot. They had backpacks with cameras on, and the guy would kind of lean over. You know? And so they had all that on film. That's the trouble with being a pothead. See, us potheads, the reason there's so many of us in jail is when we smoke pot, we think we're not doing anybody any harm. Why should we be afraid of anybody? You know? Yeah. Here's how I broke the law. There's not against the law to have paraphernalia in California.
Right.
But it's against the law in Pennsylvania to ship a bong across the state line. Then you're breaking postal law, you're breaking federal law. They would phone up and say, we want you to send, and we would tell them, or the company would say, no, we can't send it to you because you're in a no bong zone, you know? And so they ordered all these bongs, you know, and whoever they talked to, which was probably an agent, and I suspect they put an undercover agent into the factory, said okay, and then they shipped it. They broke the law. That's the only way they got me. In the indictment read that I should go to jail because I made movies that depicted law enforcement agents in a non-flattering manner.
Who said that? Who said that?
That's where it gets chilling.
Yeah, but who said
That's
that?
in the indictment.
They're talking about movies that you made like 30 some odd years ago.
Up in Smoke. That's the only thing they had. You know what they did? They checked my background, and they thought for sure that even Bill O'Reilly said, well, the reason they busted Chong, he had 17 prior convictions. They found none.
Did you have 17?
I was shocked, man. I was shocked. I said, are you sure? Yeah, check that again. There must have been something.
I hadn't seen you in a movie in a long time, and this was the movie I ended up seeing you in. It's a documentary called The American Drug War by our pal Kevin Booth, who's here. Kevin, where are you? Great documentarian. And I was so excited that you were in a movie, and I was bummed that it turned out to be this one.
In his attempt to shut down the paraphernalia industry and send a message to Hollywood, John Ashcroft made an example out of Tommy, proving that even a rich movie star is not untouchable for the DEA.
The privatized prison business is big. It's a slave labor market. We get these little jobs and we get like $15 a month, low end. People that are doing the longest time here are the ones that had a strategy, that went to court and fought it and lost. I'll tell you what it did. It made me feel like a black guy.
Wow. As funny as that is, That's a big point about how the prison industry is essentially modern slavery, and it is racist. I mean, overwhelmingly,
Totally.
the war on drugs is affecting minorities.
You're in prison being treated like a black guy, and a black guy knows what that fucking means. Because they're being taken off ballots. They can't vote.
That's right.
That's right.
It's an industry in keeping it illegal, and that's what it becomes. It becomes some self-justifying process. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a person telling another person what they can and can't do, and that's ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to tell me what I can't do if it doesn't fuck with you. If every time a person got high, everyone around them got fucked up too, well then yeah, we got to regulate this shit.
I want to be there.
All you're doing is keeping someone from an experience. I mean, who the fuck are you? Under the guise of government? The idea that any human being should be able to keep another human being from an experience is dumb. That doesn't make any sense. And it's 2011. And at what point in time do we go, stop? Stop. You can't lock people up for shit that doesn't hurt them, for shit that they like, for shit that makes them see the world better. It's crazy.
I don't know if I trust Joe as an authority on this, though. I ate a pot brownie in New Zealand that opened doors that haven't closed. And I was having panic attacks that I didn't know you could have, so I direct messaged Joe on Twitter, and I said, I'm having a massive panic attack. I just ate a pot cookie. I don't know what to do. Have you ever felt like this? And he wrote back, every day, brother, every day.
You gotta learn how to let go. We gotta let go. Close your eyes and watch the cartoons fuck. That's what it is. It's always, when I'm hallucinating on too much pot, it's always cartoons fucking behind my eyelids. Well, what people don't know, because one of the things, because pot's illegal, we're not educated about this stuff. Eating it is very, very different than smoking it.
Oh yeah, they told me not to eat too.
Yeah. When you eat it, it produces something called 11-hydroxymetabolite that is like 4 times more psychoactive than THC. And it lets you talk to dolphins. For real. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I was on a boat in Hawaii on a pot brownie, and I talked to dolphins, and we had a conversation about consciousness.
Yeah, but
Rick?
here comes a rational voice. The thing is, talking to dolphins is great, but sometimes I wish it would drive us to something. Like, that gets me so mad about they circled you like in wagons for a bond. And you know, all this stuff, and it's like, but what do you do? Write it down and press click and send, and 5 other guys know it. Like, it seems like we're at a point.
I feel like I just ate that pot brownie again. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, Eddie, all I'm saying
Don't
is,
do this!
and all I'm saying is
Don't
facts.
fuck with me!
Wouldn't it be great, and here's where it gets laughed off. If we talk to a dolphin, we get some fucking information out of him. And he inspires us. He inspires us. But it won't happen.
You know, back in the day when men were fighting, they would give them booze. They would give them alcohol. Because alcohol makes you aggressive and ignorant and stupid, and you go kill people, you know? But the people that were fighting over in Vietnam, they were getting high. Everything changed. Everything changed. All of a sudden they go, I'm not mad at that guy. Why should I kill him?
Oh, yeah.
And so what happened, America lost the war, basically, and they wanted to blame it on pot.
So, I mean,
you see what they did with the kid that shot people in the congressman in Arizona. The first Twitter out was a loner pothead.
Yeah, they described him as a left-winger.
Yeah, left-winger, yeah. The first, and
I love when Fox News does that whenever some Republican dude does something really sexually creepy. Sucking dicks in bathrooms, whatever the fuck it is, right? They always put like a D right next to his name. They always make it Democrat, like, oh, we didn't know. Oh, we fucked up. We fucked up, sorry.
That's
D,
Republican.
right next to D, Vermont. D, whatever.
yeah, when everyone knows that's a Republican platform.
Republicans blow you. The Democrats become Democrats after because they sold. It's a personal story. Look at my wife and kids. Look at my pictures, Rick. I'm doing very well.
Go ahead, tell that story. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was a little runaway. I was a little child. In my 20s, and I was hustling, and, you know, I never screwed or got screwed. That's what I tell girls, everything. So the guy would I know, you know, I imagined, you know, whatever woman was hot that year on TV, and the guys would blow you. They'd be like, honey, I'll see you at the golf club, I'll see you there, I'll see you there, I'll see you at Hyannisport, I'll see you at Cape May, Cape Cod, Cape this. You know how the broads are, Rick. True story. This was my college. This is my education. One guy drops to his knees, he goes, you need to quit this. You're not thriving. And I saw a picture as he lowered himself. I saw a picture of a nun, his son in military school, and his wife. And I knew he was big in the Republican arena. They were all these staunch conservative guys. I could tell by their cologne. They didn't smell like the woods and sweat, or pot, like a left winger. They didn't smell like poetry. See, now we get it.
Do you do any activism against the war on drugs?
Slacktivism, or, you know, I think the real way activism works, this is the real way. You say what you really feel, and people who enjoy your work listen to you, and it changes the way young people think. And that's really the way you fix things. The system that we have in place is so fucking titanically corrupt, entirely built on unfixable bullshit between the stock market and the fucking special interest groups that get politicians in office in the first place. It's chaos. It's all nuts. The only way you're going to fix it is by influencing young people. Young people who are not going to be completely compromised by the system by the time they hear your message.
It's an interesting point you bring up, though, about talking to young people, because in the 70s, you worked colleges like crazy. You work colleges now, and there's a long list of things that you're not supposed to talk about.
Really?
On the top of the list is drugs.
Really?
Yes.
I do tons of colleges, and they'll give you a list of they're like, don't talk about drugs, don't talk about sex, don't talk about religion. Don't
so what do you do?
about,
Go home? You
and
pack
I'm
up
like,
and leave.
I have fucking nothing, and so I'm Billy the Mime on stage. I don't know what to say.
When I was coming up, which was late 70s, you know, college crowds were the hipster crowd. They were the crowds where you can say anything. They wanted you to be subversive, controversial. But it seems like when I play college audiences now, it seems like they have already bought into this system. They're already like cogs in the machine.
Where are all the professors at the universities getting their money for research? The corporations.
Oh, right.
The corporations are paying all the professors.
That's right.
The professors aren't going to bite the hands that feed them, so they're just keeping the students down.
My theory is that when you go to a mall at the age of 11 and 12 for entertainment, you've already, you know, you're indoctrinated already.
Yeah, college is like the mall now. I got banned from NYU, just so you know I do colleges. Yeah, I imitated a clitoris. I wasn't even trying. I was like, this is nothing. And there was a debate between like the lesbian jocks. There was a whole contingency, and they're like, that's wrong, yo, that's wrong, like that. In their Abercrombie sweaters, I was like, God, you guys are young. You're fucking 18, 19 years old, and you're offended. You're 19. You know, you're looking for the clit.
She started in England one time. We did an all-girls school, and we were about 2 seconds into our act, and they got up and filed out like a fire drill. And I was going to say, hey, wait, you're going to miss the part where I fuck him in the ass. Man. But we got paid. Now, she started back on the road, and we're getting like tea party types.
Right.
It's kind of right-wing, kind of nut jobs.
Well, some Tea Party types, like the Ron Paul fans, they support legalizing marijuana, and that's the original Tea Party. You know,
and it's weird. When we started out, you know, we could do anti-Nixon jokes or Bush jokes, or, you know, but now like we had to stop doing Obama stuff, you know, because they weren't going for it. You know?
So your crowd now is not definable politically?
No, they're all over the place.
Does it change the way the material's received?
Us? No. No. One of our best bits is Harry Palm's the world's masturbation champion.
That's apolitical. That crosses all boundaries.
I had one of the few letters written when I was performing at the Comedy Store upset at me because I had this bit that I was doing about, there's a thing called the Second Coming Project, where people had theorized if the blood from the Shroud of Turin was actually Jesus' blood, we could somehow or another clone Jesus. So I had this bit that I was doing about
Nothing
Jesus
could possibly go wrong there.
Cloning, the very first time you clone it, it's not always exact science. Like Dolly the sheep, they had to go through a bunch of Dollys before they got the good one. You know, I'm like, if Jesus comes back retarded, like, do we still follow him? Like, what do we do? So I had this whole thing about how he went, instead of turning water into wine, he turned like dog shit into cookies, and everybody would just follow him around. And I was doing this bit, man, and this fucking lady said, next subject, next subject. She was like directing me.
I never understood that, people feeling like they had that entitlement to complain about a show. Lucian Hold, who used to book the comic strip in New York, loved the art of comedy, and he always stood by the comic. And I saw him one night, an Indian woman was complaining because a comedian had been making jokes about the dot on her forehead. And he said, ma'am, these are comedians and they're artists. And granted, you don't agree with it and it sounds racist to you, but that is their art. And this is America where they have the freedom to say that. You also have the freedom to leave. And to this day, I don't know if Lucian really loved comedy or he just hated Indians.
Did you ever work Chaplin's in Detroit?
Yeah.
The owner was kind of weird, you know, and I did a joke one night, and he got offended. It was weird. It was during the O.J. Simpson thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I said something about the jury thought that DNA meant that nigger's acquitted. And he got upset.
Downright, ladies
I've been
and
laughing
gentlemen.
my ass off. When y'all edit this, don't make it look like I was cooning up, because this is some funny shit. I saw the camera, and when he said that nigga's acquitted, the camera went straight to me. And it's like, I don't want y'all to edit this to make it look like it's all right, that nigga's laughing. It's funny, so go ahead and laugh. It's funny as shit. I love y'all talking about this, so just laugh, man. This shit is funny, man. That's all I'm saying.
Sweet. Hey, Paul, do me a favor. Make sure you edit all that shit out and just put a subtitle that says "That nigger's cooning."
Well, goddamn it, I've had a blast. Thank you for being here. Tommy Chong, Joe Rogan, keep fighting the fight, man. Rick Shapiro. Eddie Ifft, ladies and gentlemen. Come on back, hang out at the green room, and bring another couple of black guys.